Howdy, and welcome back to the Home Turf Podcast. I'm your host, Braxton Dore, and I'm joined by...
Justin Chen.
All right, Justin, we're going to switch it up a little bit today, kind of take you through and talk you through how your Rice internship has gone, especially with your addition to the football team and the equipment management position. So just kind of getting started here, how did you really get started on that position, applying? What credentials did you have to have? What did you have on your resume?
I followed the A&M Sports Internship page. I was like, like every so often they'd have something interesting, but it wasn't like that one thing I wanted to do. And I think it was around like late October, early November. They had a post. It was like, oh, Rice football equipment manager internship. And for me, I'm a big sports person. You know, obviously I'm writing for the sports desk for the battalion. And I had an idea. It's like I've always wanted to play in the NBA or something like that, right? But I was like, obviously that dream was not going to happen. And I was like, if I obviously want to write about sports, but if there's a chance for me to be involved in sports, like hands-on, like, being an equipment manager, and I was like, might as well try it out, see if I like it. I remember it was like a back and forth with me and someone called Dustin Condry, and he's an assistant equipment manager. And it was like really fast too. He emailed me back within a couple hours, and we're just talking now. I sent him my resume, and since I hadn't officially played football or worked anything worked in a position like that, I included some stuff like I work out a lot. It's like small stuff to help sell myself kind of, but it's because obviously I didn't have that experience, and they all thought that was funny when they read it because I included some numbers which it's. I don't know.
Like totals?
Like totals,
okay.
Yeah. It's like, for me, I'm just like, I'm more laid back when it comes to lifting. Like, oh, yeah, I can just do this and this. But it's like, I guess for the resume, I wanted to really secure it. So I was like, oh, yeah, I can do this and this, like, officially. So
yeah, it was more of like, here is what I'm capable of. I'm not going to be a hindrance if I need to help, this D lineman lift some really heavy weight. Like, obviously, they want to be able to see that and want to be able to tell and be like, hey, okay, this guy can do this, can't do that. Like, it's kind of already in their mindset. That's a really good way to kind of just communicate to your employer that, like, hey, my talents are this, but, like, I can kind of go extend.
No, exactly, yeah.
Specifically with, like, strength and conditioning, how'd you get started in your weightlifting journey? I know you've been, obviously keeping up with it for a while. For those of you who can't see, Justin's a little jacked. So this position really, it kind of fits him, just knowing you as a person. How did that journey get started with you in weightlifting?
Well, I think I can speak for majority of, like, especially guys. It's like, back in high school, all you search up is like 5-minute ab tutorials. And I searched that up a bunch, and I was doing, the bro split, which was like hitting arms only, no legs. I started in like 2019 kind of, but officially I would say 2020. I was getting my feet wet. I mean, I was at Planet Fitness, which I think is a very underrated gym, and people, hate on it too much. For a start, yeah,
absolutely.
It's not bad at all.
I mean, they have one of the lowest, like, membership deals.
Exactly, it's just $10, and it's like it's a good way for someone to start off and whatnot. So I'd say 2020 is when I started, and like the more I got into it, the more I like learned. I used to like wanted a PR every single time, I thought it was it's called like newbie gains or whatever. It's like first 6 months, or it's like first couple of months of working out.
I know what you're talking about. I used to have some friends of mine that used to do weightlifting for UIL in high school, and they had the same thing. So when they started, it was like a plateau moment is what they called it. So you would get to your height, and every week up to your height, you would increase by like 10 or 20 pounds.
It was crazy.
And so I'm sure you understood that part and being like, okay, I know I can keep going. Let me find out my limit. When do you think that was, really, when you finally plateaued and were like, okay, I'm not getting better, I need to start changing the way I do things?
Ooh, it was definitely summer of 2021 because I used to be I used to solely only focus on 225 as many reps as possible because I was so into the NFL Combine. I'm like, I want to see how my numbers are against some literally like the greatest athletes.
Bench specific.
Okay. And looking back on it, I didn't do like much legs, which now and now I obviously do, but it's like back then I was solely focused on 225 as many reps as possible, and then
that's that combine.
That's
that combine lift, pretty much.
And I finally worked my way up to 15. I was like, oh, this is good. And then I also switched over my goals to 3 plates, and 3 plates is like the dream goal. And I got to like 295, 300, but then I tried a PR like, it was like 2-3 months, and then I was like plateauing as hell. So definitely like late 2021, that's when I first, or summer of 2021, that's when I plateaued, and then I didn't learn how to get out of it until late of 2021. But then I got back into the plateau again in spring 2022 because I was like, oh, I hit 3 plates, in fall of 2021. Let's see how much I can go. And obviously the progress after 3 plates is, very, very steadily. So
sounds great, man. So kind of like with equipment managing, how did you kind of know that this was, a possible career opportunity and that you kind of wanted to pursue, especially in like you're still in college?
At the moment, it's just like my philosophy is kind of just like I want to help out a team win no matter what aspect it is. Obviously I can't play, but it's like if I can help, it's the simple stuff as if I can help with their laundry, so it's faster for them or whatever, or it's better for them. Just any facet that I can help, especially like in the weight room. Like obviously I'm not a player, but if I can help them, get better 1% every day, that's something I want to do. It's just like contributing to a team's efforts, and then hopefully the time and effort pays off. But just being with like those guys and stuff like that, it's like it feels as if I'm part of the team, even though I'm not, because if there's an odd man out, I'm in the weight room, just I'm being an extra training partner, which like I feel like that's pretty cool.
And it's really useful, especially for these athletes that are maybe not starters, but like they still have those aspirations to get better, to keep doing what they have grown up doing, and have obviously capitalized on if they can get into a Rice football program.
Oh, exactly.
And it's a good starting point, I think. And even if like you said, for people that want to get involved with a team in some capacity, it's the best way to say, hey, it's a build-up process.
Mm-hmm.
You work from the down below. Everyone here, ticket resellers, people in the weight room cleaning up, like it all transitions to the top.
Oh yeah,
to the athletes, to the coaches. It's just how it works in sports. So what did you enjoy most so far with working with Rice specifically?
Well, there's a lot of great moments, especially right now. I don't know how familiar people are with the program, but it's a complete overhaul. There's a new head coach. Basically, everybody's new. Everybody in the strength conditioning staff is new. They're brought on by the head coach or by the main strength and conditioning. Then his associates and assistants are brought on by him. Everything is new right now, and you see the coaches, you see the skill position coaches in the weight room for their players, and it's like how hands on and connected everybody is. Cause it's like I feel like it's hard to buy into a program that's very fresh, but all the players have been very enthusiastic. I'm seeing all the work they put in, and like everybody's on top of it. I mean, the very first day, coach put him through hell. It was like 3 people throwing up. I'm like, but they came back the next day on Wednesday, like still ready to go. So I was like, everybody's bought in. Basically just seeing like the togetherness, and you can kind of feel that new energy shift. Is like, Rice football has been maybe not as good as they could have been. Hopefully this is the year that changes everything. So it starts with the little things, and just seeing the energy players bring in every day. I think it's probably the best part.
Sounds great. And sounds like a great program to be a part of, and just to be able to contribute to that culture, and especially that new culture, as you mentioned.
Exactly, yeah.
So specifically working with the football team, do you have like a specific memory that you would like kind of think back on, and it's like, okay, this is a reason on why I'm here doing this. This is kind of like serving as like a little small motivation.
I'd say definitely like being an extra helping hand for the players. I've been a lot more hands-on now. I've been helping take out or help test players' verticals every single week, and like I'm talking to them every single day, and then at the very end, there's always lifts that I'm keeping track of. I'm trying to motivate them as well. I think my favorite moment is just like, again, that helping aspect. If I can help them in any way become 1% better, then I've done my job. And obviously, I'm still only an intern, but it's like it's that feeling and energy of contributing to something that's bigger than you. That I think is my favorite aspect, and especially being a workout partner, I think that's like my favorite specific moment.
I love that, and it's always enjoying to hear about that because there's so many people that go out and they just aren't very passionate about their job or about what they do for work, and it seems like it's not the case at all with you, and it's very refreshing, especially in the sports industry. You want to hear about those stories,
Exactly, but I will say the only bad part is the drive to and from Houston. Getting back, I'm always so exhausted. The first 2 weeks, I was like half asleep, but now I managed to deal with it. But it's like. Hopefully again, I'm brought back as a GA so I can live out in Houston. The only bad part is the drive, but other than that, it's been 100% like the best thing I've ever could ask for.
That's great. I'm glad that if there are downfalls, it's not specifically on an aspect of the job. It's something like commute.
Oh yeah,
it's completely different when you talk to people and they've got gripes about their organizations or the programs they work for, but those negative aspects are way worse than like the other associated aspects like travel, maybe pay. Like it's stuff like that people don't understand. What did you think is one thing that people should know about going into equipment managing or even just helping out in the strength and conditioning area?
I think just being available is the best thing you could do for the coaches, because I mean I've never done anything like this in my life, but it's like it feels as if I was built for this moment. Obviously, working on the weight room experience helps, but I've never done equipment managing. And there are a couple of days where we'd go back and forth doing equipment stuff like laundry. We're taking off stickers. Ask questions. Everybody's there. Everybody's there. Everybody's not an expert at anything. It's like. People who are there for years and know what to do, they also started off, not knowing how to do it. So it's like asking questions, being available, making sure you're on the same page with them is probably the most important thing. So,
well, thank you so much, Justin. That's all we got time for today. But I really appreciate you talking about this and talking about the opportunities that are now coming your way.
Oh yeah, of course.
All right, and that'll be it for all this week. We'll see y'all next week when we tune in for men's basketball.